Hello and welcome to Zgermanguy Reviews. I'm Zgermanguy. Well, here we are, my friends. The final part of Birth by Sleep. Once this is over, a million things will start to make sense. It begins here, at the Keyblade Graveyard, the place where people fought over the warmth of the light and plunged the universe into darkness so many millennia ago, if the story of Kairi's grandma is to be believed. As you can see, people used their Keyblade for this conflict, which is why it became known as the Keyblade War. Every blade represents one fallen soldier. Nothing makes one's eyes twinkle more with wonder and excitement than a nice little holocaust. We meet Terra, Aqua and Ventus, who all have come here to take revenge on the person that destroyed their home, their friendship and their lives. Terra admits his mistakes and that he has been used by Xehanort. Then Ven goes and explains what Xehanort's plan is. He says the mere thought of Xehanort controlling such power scares him, and he goes even so far to say that his friends must kill him if necessary. Suddenly the evil orchestrator emerges in the distance, Vanitas by his side, grinning with an evil smile, knowing that his vision will soon be reality. But our heroes will not give up so easily, and gear up for the ultimate battle. And so it begins. Xehanort raises the earth itself from the ground, creating a great platform. With one move of his hand, he makes the countless Keyblades without a master hunt our heroes. Xehanort catches Ventus, freezes him, and then drops him down the canyon like Wile E. Coyote. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Only Disney cartoons are allowed. Let me fix that. But I have to wonder, why does he try to kill him? He needs Ventus! Oh, whatever. Let's not ruin this glorious moment with annoying nitpicky things like logic. I'm just going to assume he froze little kitten to test the stability of marbles in an ice block in advance. Anyway, evil Mr. Spock... No, really, Mr. Spock is voicing Xehanort. Be dark in your heart and decay. Reveals that Kingdom Hearts is nearby. Makes sense, after all, this is the place where armies met to fight over it, so where else would it be? But if Kingdom Hearts is here, this must mean this is the same place where the Heartless later built the end of the world. Oh my god, that means this planet went from normal world to global battleground to center of the apocalypse and back to worldwide dustbin. There's more terraforming in this game than in an Isaac Asimov novel. Terra confronts his former master. Vanitas is sent to kill Aqua and fight with Ventus so that Xehanort can have some alone time with his old puppet. The horrible man teases Terra so that he releases his anger and hatred for him. But of course, this is just another trap. Xehanort explains that he knows that he is old and his body is weak. Because Terra is so prone to darkness, it makes his heart weak. Which means Xehanort, with his Keyblade that can rip out people's hearts, as you remember in Kingdom Hearts 1, can take out his and put it in Terra's body, simply pushing him out. For the first time in 20 years, I won't need diapers! And yes, this is indeed a story where an old man gives a young teenager his heart. This entire plan was just an elaborate Valentine's gift. But Terra has still some willpower left and puts some of his mind in his armor and fights the invader with, wait for it, punchline incoming, all his heart.
Or is it Xehanort who fights Terra with all his heart?
Oh yeah, and there was one other thing that I wanted to say. Wait, I wrote it down. Ah yes. Fuck this fight. Terra wins, but it's no use. His body and heart belong to Xehanort now. Meanwhile, Aqua is being attacked by Break, whose only purpose here is to buy some time. After he managed to distract Aqua for a while, he flees, but in the same moment, Vanitas shows up and knocks her unconscious. Whew, good thing they don't fight with real sharp weapons, or she might be actually hurt. Can we have a children's band-aid over here? Vanitas tries to finish her off, but Ventus figures out how to increase his body temperature by 80 degrees Celsius in under 10 seconds. Ventus is the Human Torch.
Great Scott! With these fantastic powers, I can stretch my arms for miles.
I can turn myself completely invisible.
I think I could lift the whole car over my head.
I'm on fire! Oh my god!
He tells Vanitas to let his friend go, and they begin to fight. Shortly later, a perishing Vanitas reveals his face. He looks just like Sora. Now that Ventus and Vanitas are about equally strong and Vanitas' body is dying, he says he is going to combine his darkness with our light so that the ultimate Keyblade can be forged. A giant horde of Unversed appear and strangle Ven. It is explained by Vanitas that the Unversed are all part of his being. They are what he feels, fleeting emotions taking shape thanks to his dark powers. So, where are Ventus's armies made out of pure positive energy? Or doesn't that exist for good guys? Look, Forces of Light, if you want darkness to lose, you have to stop making it look so appealing. Anyhow, negative Sora fuses with Ven, creating the Keyblade. But because our hero is still fighting back, the weapon couldn't be fully completed. Ventus wants to fight, but Vanitas warns him that if he should win, he will destroy his heart, since he and him are one and the same now. That, however, is a price Ven is more than willing to pay.
It's always about your friends, isn't it?
At least I have some. I've become a part of their heart, just as they become a part of mine. My friends are my power, and I'm theirs.
Never gets old. While Ventus and his alter ego fight for supremacy, Aqua regains consciousness after Mickey helped her get out of the danger zone. Should I play the clip? Why shouldn't I? It's everybody's birthday today!
You're in the, danger zone!
Aqua approaches Ventus, who is possessed by Vanitas. He announces that his key will open a door to all worlds. That's why all the Keyblade wielders will come to this place and the Keyblade War will begin once again. Our heroes don't want this to happen, of course, so we fight as we always do. When Aqua realizes that she is too weak to beat Vanitas, she prays for the strength of her friends, which she receives. In one great attack, which breaks the Keyblade, since it wasn't truly ready yet, the weapon goes berserk, while Vanitas Ventus becomes just Ventus again. Then the Keyblade explodes, launching our friends into space. Aqua manages to grab Ventus' hand so that he would not drift too far away. Terra is left behind so that he later can be a ridiculously hard secret boss in KH2. I'm going to wear that achievement crown on my head, and if it's the last thing I do... Spoiler alert! I managed to do it! Now, only the data boss battles. Mickey, who lost consciousness during the fight, uses the Star Shard to bring them both back to Master Yensid. Ven is a potato once again because of Vanitas' death. Yensid says his heart is sleeping and the only thing they can do to help is to believe that Ven can heal and find his way back. But Aqua is more than hopeful, and so the credits roll. But we are not finished yet. After you have played through the main game, there are some extra cutscenes that you can unlock if you neurotically search for all the collectibles. We return back to Aqua, who decides that Yensid's tower is not safe enough to protect Ven's body. She just has absolutely no idea where else she can keep him. Thankfully, Tomato Ven shows her the way. Why cannot all comatose patients be this useful for the rest of us? We could at least use them as bricks or something. The duo returns to the land of departure, their old home. Inside the ruins, Aqua remembers that after she officially became a Keyblade Master and Ericus gave her the secret knowledge that comes with that title, that there is one very important thing in particular to remember. In the event that Ericus dies and the forces of darkness threaten to conquer their homeworld, she must lock this land away so that the secrets of the Keyblade wielders do not fall into the wrong hands. Their predecessor left a keyhole which can be used to teleport their castle into another dimension, putting a spell on it to keep out everyone who doesn't belong there, and so their home becomes Castle Oblivion. Yeah, but they forgot about the neutrals. They don't belong to either light or darkness. They can just surpass the security measures.
I hate these filthy neutrals, Kif. With enemies you know where they stand, but with neutrals, who knows?
But here's what I don't understand. Ericus says even if someone should manage to enter the castle, the magic there will make them forget. But then how does the organization not forget everything? Is it because of Namine? How is this possible? I thought she only has influence over people Sora is connected with. Or can she protect others from Castle Oblivion's spell, but not manipulate them? Or did she remove the spell and it is her who makes Sora forget? But then, why did Sora need to be in Castle Oblivion if she can do that on her own? Someone has to explain to me how her powers work. Anyway, Aqua leaves Ven in the chamber before them, saying no one can harm him here. And in case you don't get it, this is what Organization 13 will later be searching for. Aqua then goes outside, deciding she is going to search for Terra now. She does indeed find him, but only his body, not knowing that her bestie is now someone completely else. She runs up to him and Xehanort starts to strangle her, asking who she is. The reason for this is that after the explosion of the Keyblade, Xehanort wasn't wearing any protection, so the magic energy caused amnesia.
Wrap it before you tap it.
So to sum up the entire story real quick. This guy pretended to be this guy, who pretended to be this guy, who wants to fight this guy, who really is this guy. So in order to do that, he works together with this guy, who pretends to be this guy, but only looks like that guy and is still this guy, who is best friends with this guy, who is also this guy, who has a female clone of himself, but really is this guy, who is friends with this guy, whose body has been stolen by this guy, but was defeated and then became this guy. It's not that complicated, is it? I presume that's a clever metaphor for no. Aqua tries to reach Terra, but it's too late. Xehanort is in full control. After the battle, that what is left of him fights back, but the old master uses his Keyblade to get rid of Terra's heart, making a Heartless out of him. Both Terra and Xehanort get absorbed by darkness and Aqua jumps after them, first catching Terra's body and then going after Terra's heart. But she realizes that the portal is going to close soon, so what does she do? She lets Terra's body with Xehanort in it go free, trapping herself in the realm of darkness to go after Terra's heart. So you are the reason this whole thing started, just because you couldn't sacrifice one person for the greater good?
That's a fucking 50 DKP minus! What the fuck was that shit?
Although, when I think about it, you are the reason this whole thing started! Later, Xehanort, who lost his memory completely, but regains most of it over time, is found by Ansem the Wise, who takes him in and makes him one of his apprentices. During this time, as you know, he made a couple of evil experiments, creating the Emblem Heartless, and causing the other students to become nobodies, while he split into a nobody and a Heartless himself. Meanwhile, Aqua has to realize that she is lost and wants to give up. But a quick flashback of all her friends changed that pretty quickly. I still could use a compass. She arrives at the Ocean of Darkness, where Rico and Sora will later be trapped, and meets Ansem the Wise, who ended up here after his apparent death in Kingdom Hearts 2. If you wonder how this does not fuck up the timeline since Aqua has been in here for just a few hours, it's because outside of the Realm of Darkness, time goes much faster. Basically, you are cryogenically frozen.
I have frozen myself so I may live to see the wonders of the future. Thaw me out when robot wives are cheap and effective. P.S. Please alter my pants as fashion dictates.
Ansem poetically talks about all his mistakes and why he made them, and concludes that there is only one person who can save them all. One person that is the key. One person that connects all the dots. One person who touches the hearts of everyone he meets. Always.
What's this boy's name?
His name is...
Sora. 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 Sora.
The field train is leaving in 5 minutes! All aboard! On the other end of the universe, 11 years earlier, little Sora and Rico look up at the stars. When the two boys decide to go home, Sora starts to cry without actually feeling sad.
It's like something's squeezing me inside.
Oh my god, you're so fucking cute! You're so fucking cute! Oh my god, let me adopt you! Or give me a string of your hair. I'm gonna clone you and open up my own Sora pet store. Rico says Sora might be crying because all things are connected. And maybe right now there is someone out there who is in a lot of pain. What I'm basically saying, Sora, is that if anybody is suffering in the universe, it's somehow connected to you. And it's your fault for not fixing it. And just who is this person that is in so much pain that it causes dear Sora to cry? It's Ventus's broken heart returning to the person that saved him years before, when Xehanort almost abandoned him to die. This right there is one of my favorite moments in the Kingdom Hearts series. It's such a defining character moment, telling you who Sora really is. He finds a broken heart, lost and helpless, and what is his first instinct? To tell him he can unite with him. Sora is like Superman in that regard. He truly believes that every single life counts. So we got Ventus, Roxas, a part of Shion was probably also in there, all the people you are connected to. Man, that's getting pretty crowded in there. You should consider asking for rent. It's also such a great moment because it explains dozens of questions. Vanitas looks, why Sora can wield 2 Keyblades at once, why Sora's nobody doesn't look like him. Many people hate the fact that Ventus is living inside Sora, since they think this means that we have been lied to this whole time about Sora being special. He is a Keyblade wielder by accident. Now, this would be a legit complaint if it was true, but it isn't. See, Sora can't use the Keyblade because Ventus lives inside his heart. That's a common misconception and has been debunked by Nomura himself. The Keyblade inheritance ceremony is for people who are deemed worthy by other Keyblade wielders, but Sora truly was chosen by the one Keyblade because of his pure heart. So no, birth by sleep did not ruin the mythos surrounding the Keyblade. In fact, it did the opposite. It showed exactly what makes Sora so radically different from any regular person. But I do agree that having this many Keyblades around feels a bit too much. True, Sora is still the chosen one, but remember how cool it was when Son Goku turned into Super Saiyan for the first time? Something only he could do? Now they enter this stage when they are all still babies. Inside the womb, 1 month before they are born. It doesn't have the same effect. Well, Time to criticize Kingdom Hearts. I agree with those that say that this game is taking away a lot of the mystery in the series. I too like it better when in a fantasy story legends get explained with more legends, like our good old friend Tolkien used to do. But on the other hand, having everything explained gives you closure, and it's not like Birth by Sleep removed all the mystery or legend from Kingdom Hearts. The Disney worlds are nothing more than cameos in this game. In Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, they were part of the story, but here it feels like they have been segregated to make space for the Final Fantasy stuff. And as we have learned from history, segregation doesn't work. At least most people know that. I hope. It's depressing, especially when you consider how much Kingdom Hearts 1 treated these characters with respect. But now, it's like Nomura is saying, yeah, Disney is fine, blah blah blah. Now get out of the way, you little shits, I want to talk about Xehanort. The only way how he could have made it even more clear that he thinks that these cartoon characters are in the way of his plans is when he had dressed up as Judge Doom. This way of storytelling worked in 358 over 2 days, because Roxas is a nobody. You are supposed to feel like he is not really a part of the rest of the world, because he is. In Chain of Memories, the worlds are part of Sora's memories that affect him directly, and in Coded it's the same but with the journal. Now I admit these two games have somewhat the same problem. It feels like there's this huge wall between these two elements, but at least they are essential to the plot. When the worlds die, our hero dies. They are connected. Here, they are not. There's no reason for any Disney world to be here. How cool would it have been if Maleficent and Xehanort had worked together after he told her about Kingdom Hearts? He still would have used her, but something Disney related would be present all the way throughout the game. Vanitas could have been Hades' champion in the Colosseum. Stuff like this. It's very clear they had no idea how to use these characters this time. And the Disney company doesn't complain as long as those crazy Japanese print money for them. Until they complain too much, but that's for another day. Maybe it would have been better if they left out the Disney worlds in Birth by Sleep altogether. But then, what's the point of a crossover universe if you write the story in such a way that you don't need them anymore? And even if all the worlds would have been only from the Final Fantasy games this time, it would still be the same problem. A bunch of worlds that just exist for the sake of being there. Remember when in Kingdom Hearts 1 Alice was kidnapped and Sora promised to find her? Nothing like this exists in this game. There's nothing that our characters take with them. There's nothing that connects everything neatly. There are thematic and emotional connections, but that's all we get. Sure, there is the story of our trio, which, I'm not gonna lie, is very excellently told. But in regards to the Disney worlds, they might as well have gone and saved John Connor. There are some other things people complain about, but these are just minor things in my opinion. Like, for example, why didn't Donald and Goofy know about the Keyblade if Mickey stole one from Master Yen Sid? Does this look like a key to you? If you didn't know what a Keyblade was?
On the subject of the story, I like how mature it is this time. Kingdom Hearts, just like its novel series, remembers that its audience is getting older too. Meaning, at this point, most KH fans are already angst-filled teens, so it's great that they show that not all stories get a happy fairy tale ending. But they also correctly point out that there's always the hope that things that are unjust at the moment will be rectified in the future. One final thing, but this is not the game's fault. It's the combat system. I don't like it. I don't know why, I'm just not good at it. But as I said before, it is respectable of them that they always try out something new in that regard. The downside is, however, that it can go horribly wrong, but that's just personal preference. Another great entry in the series, and I deeply hope we will get something like this again. Just for the purposes of finally getting some answers.
Anyway, that was Birth by Sleep, my friends. We are going to do our own departure today, but I will return. I promise. Zgermanguy out and auf Wiedersehen.